So this class we are going to talk about the batteries and its charging methods and all. As you are all aware that there are two kind of batteries, the primary cell and secondary cell. So as far as the primary cell is concerned, we cannot able to charge. So whatever may be in the manufacturing level itself, it should be charged. So after that, whatever the chemical process, okay, irreversible. There is no possibility of reversible chemical process. So in that case, there is no any question of charging of such a batteries will be arising. So only the secondary cells, secondary cells, so that only can be charged. So that's what primary cell cannot be recharged. So because chemical processes are not reversible. Say example is what we are using AA size and D size battery, zinc carbon, okay, alkaline. So these are all the 1.5 voltage battery. They are not cannot charge them. So automatically because whenever we charging that, what will happen is so a positive electron oxidation happen and another one is losing electron. So that is gaining electrons. Oxidation happen and gaining electrons. So this is how the particular thing when the discharging is happening. So when we are charging, so once again it has to restore. So that is purely depends on the property of the material and the type of electrolyte we are using. That's the reason why in primary cells, okay, so if you see zinc, carbon, alkaline, all these type of thing cannot be charged. So we need not to worry about these batteries because as far as our focus, our interest is concerned, we have to think about or we have to study about the batteries which are all charging only because as far as the plug-in hybrid electrical vehicle configuration concerned and as well as the electrical vehicle architecture concerned, so there is a need of frequent charging of batteries. So in case of electrical vehicle, yes, of course, the secondary cells, it can be charged. So in that, automatically, we already know that lead acid, nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydride, lithium ion, lithium sulfur. Okay, so all these type of batteries are can be recharged. That means chemical reactions is reversible. So automatically, these type of batteries only, for example, we in our houses also we are using for the uninterrupted power supply. That is for UPS purpose. So whenever a live power supply is always available, apart from the main usages, we are converting the particular AC to DC and storing it in as a DC form in the battery. Suppose any power cut is there automatically, so now the power flow in the reverse direction, battery will be supplying the required energy in the DC form that will be inverted. So DC to AC conversion is happening through the same inverter. So that inverter will supply the AC supply. So the same way we are going to realize this type of batteries. Already we are realizing this type of batteries in the electrical vehicle and hybrid electrical vehicle configuration. But as I already told, even though the so many varieties of batteries starting from lead acid to nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydride, lithium ion, all these batteries are available. If you see that lithium battery is having little more higher voltages. Okay, so suppose lithium phosphorus that battery is having 4.8 voltages, but whereas lead acid nickel cadmium very basic low voltages. What is happening is when we want to realize the voltage, say for example up to 60 voltage we need means, so definitely lead acid battery we need 30 in number. 60 voltage is you want you have to give it as a input to the inverter where the voltage will be output voltage will be 230 voltage AC to run an induction motor means. So I need a 30 such a lead acid batteries. Then only I can able to connect them in a series. So I can able to build the voltages. So automatically that will need more space also. But as far as the energy density, okay, also concerned, it is very less only, but very cheaper cost. Okay, very cheaper cost, especially lead acid. It is very cheaper cost. That's the reason why, even though more than a century, we are still using there's such a kind of batteries in our cars, in our bikes and all for ignition purpose. Now, even e-rickshaws, e-scooters, also they are using this type of batteries. But if you want to design a proper performing electrical vehicle and hybrid electrical vehicle, it is always a switch over to batteries, LIB, usually called as LIB we will call. So that batteries only now it is showing a very high performance because the voltage rating is high. even we can able to realize 4.8 or 5 voltages in a particular battery itself. That is, it may be stack of some 18 to 20 mono cells it may having. So automatically, if you are connected and a number of batteries in series, the required number of battery to build up the voltage will be very, very less. Okay, that is the reason why we are preferring lithium batteries. So this is a composition of any battery. Here is a lead acid battery. It is these are all the things you know. There will be separator plate, the lead plate will be there, lead oxide plate will be there. So with a diluted sulfuric acid with the 35 percentage, okay, and 65 percentage of water solution, that solution is called electrolyte. So automatically, the 35 percentage of concentric sulfuric acid with a 65 percentage water solution, it is a diluted only, but when completely discharged, the water percentage will be more. Water percentage will automatically, once we are charging, then once again it is in a reversible process. Okay, during the reversible process, once again the electrolyte is gaining. That's 35 percentage of sulfuric acid. That is that is a process only helping us to use the battery for multiple times. Okay, charging and discharging is as possible. When a battery is discharges, the electrolyte dilutes and the sulfur deposits on the lead plates. As I already told, electrolyte dilutes. So more amount of water will be there. And sulfur also will deposit on the lead plates. When battery is recharged, the complete process is reverses and sulfur is dissolved in the electrolyte. Because of sulfur is dissolved in the electrolyte, now before charging, the electrolyte is having more percentage of water. Because sulfur is dissolved, it become a some percentage of sulfuric acid. That is a process that is happening in the battery when we are charging. So when we are charging, the lead plate. Okay, so and also because of sulfur is deposited on lead plate, lead sulfuric acid sulfur content will be very reduced. So that will be increasing the water solution. So it is vice versa. So there is a possibility of reversible chemical process also is there. And this is the very fundamental battery cross section. We already know grid plate is there, positive plate, negative plate. Okay, so microporous separator that will allow. So through that only the electrolyte will be go, and all the it will be separating there. And positive plate pack also we can have. Okay, so when we are having the particular monocell concept, so when we are having in a packed manner, there will be a valve adapter and valve also will be there. So through which we can able to see how much the electrolyte level and all. If we need, we can able to fill them also. So mainly these type of rechargeable lead acid batteries are mainly for the starting and cranking battery. They usually called as a starting and cranking. So if you see any combustion engine, so if there is a petrol, okay, so especially a petrol engine or two-stroke engine, there is a need of ignition. So within a two-stroke, we want to realize one power. So whereas four strokes are need for realizing one cycle of power. So where the fuel and the air mixture is compressed, because of the compressed only it is getting heated, then automatically it will be working. But whereas when the fuel with the air mixture is compressed, when in a compressed state, whenever we are giving a spark, okay, so automatically that will make, so that is what happening in the two-stroke engine. So mainly these type of batteries are used for starting. Okay, so providing the ignition. Okay, so igniter will be there. No, so it will mainly to give a very high voltage will be given. So automatically, when it is compressed state with the fuel and air mixture, it will produce a spark. So that will make a burning of a fuel. That will make a crankshaft to move downwards. So when the crankshaft is move upward, okay, so automatically it will compress whatever the available fuel air mixture. So automatically when it is burned, a huge amount of energy is there, so power is there, a work done. Automatically that will force the crankshaft to move downwards. So automatically whatever the wheels and other arrangement that is coupled to the crankshaft, that will be rotating. So this will be keep on happening in a cycle. So when the crankshaft is coming upward direction, so once again, okay, when it goes downward direction, it will suck the air and the fuel mixture. So whenever it go upward direction, it will create a high pressure on mixture of air and the fuel. So that will facilitate the particular movement of the crank. So that is the reason why lead acid batteries are mainly called as a starting or cranking factory. Crank means crankshaft. So it is mainly help to rotate the crankshaft. That's the reason why it is called cranking batteries. So you know that whenever this type of a cycle is happening, okay, so there is a depth of discharge will be more because, as I already told, very high voltage is needed. Okay, so between the two terminal, when high voltage is there only, there is a spark. So in order to, it will ionize the air, and the electrons are trying to cross through the air instead of the particular winded copper wire. Okay, so whenever high voltage is applied, so automatically this high voltages is possible when the more. So that is the reason why it is called deep cycle batteries. The same battery is can be with the same performance, it can exhibit the performance in case of an electrical vehicle also. Say for example, in electrical vehicle or plug-in hybrid electrical vehicle, if we are using the lead acid battery, what will happen? At initially, we need to start the motor, especially when we are having a, I suppose assume that it is a DC motor, that is by using a chopper we are starting. So automatically that battery has to give okay more high voltages in order to give okay in order to start that. So automatically that will help okay battery to stop the motor. So automatically what will happen? So whenever in a moment of inertia, due to the moment of inertia, the motor is want to be in a stable condition only, state of at which it stands still now. So in order to overcome from the standstill position, if you want it to move, a very high huge amount of large amount of current also required. So now the state, okay, the energy source is, which is the energy source, battery is the energy source. So that has to be supplied by the battery only. So okay, so because of that, the depth of the discharge of battery will be very much more. So that is the reason why this type of lead acid batteries are called as deep cycle batteries. Deep cycle, okay, huge amount of discharge can happen. Okay, so that has to be facilitated. So once again, the a huge in a particular cycle, a huge amount of current is taken. Next cycle onwards, current may be a normal one. Okay, so that means from starting, standstill to starting, it is required. Types of this type of rechargeable lead acid battery is dual purpose batteries. Dual purpose batteries means we can able to use this battery okay for charging also whenever, as I already told, in case of vehicle, hybrid electrical vehicle. So during the ideal stoppages or decelerating, okay, during the deceleration, braking, we can able to get back, or we can able to restore the energy instead of wasted them in a brake shoes. We can able to restore the energy. We can able to feed it back to the source. That is nothing but batteries. That is the purpose why it is called dual purpose battery also. So when we are talking about the internal combustion engine as a starting or cranking battery, so when we are using this battery, suppose if at a lesser voltage, so say for example, as a state of charge is 100%, so completely discharged, there will be any zero voltages. Say for example, a rated voltage of any battery pack is 3.7 or 4.8 voltages, means at a state of charge 100%, completely discharged level, it may be 4.2 or 4.3 only. So that much of differences only will be there between the as far as the potential difference is concerned. But when we are connecting them for a complete depth of discharge, there only a high the battery. If sufficient charges are not available, there is a possibility of damages. Okay, the damaged cause if deeply discharged. Okay, so these are all the. This is a very big disadvantages of lead acid battery. That is the reason why now very often if you see that whoever buys the electrical bike or e-rickshaws and all, so without a proper charge, that is a charge level is at 20%, 10%. If they operated their vehicle, so they are able to see their failure of battery, complete failure of battery. So even that after that they are charging also, charging is not withstanding. That is charging is not happening because a huge amount of damage that can be caused when the deeply discharged, when the potential, that is a state of charge, is very low. So that is the reason why when in electrical vehicle electrical vehicle. Once again. Soft copy. Class online class. So automatically that will lead to a very high damages. So that is the reason why we have to always monitor the state of charge of batteries, like the fuel level. So suppose if analogous to that, if I want to explain this, so if a fuel level is in a reverse, that is a reserve stage, means if you keep on running the vehicle, what will happen? We don't know it's going to be stopped. So in the reserve, so automatically certain amount of liter below that liter level of a fuel, and in a setting or in a design, it will be arranged that it will be in a reserve state. So whoever driving the vehicle will be noticing that it is in a reserve. So automatically that means we have to very much cautious that the vehicle cannot go beyond such a clip. Same way, in a lead acid battery also, the state of charge of battery also always should be monitored. If at any instant, the percentage of particular charging level is about to 30% and less than that, they have to very cautious that they should not use the particular vehicle for any uphill movement. Okay, in a traffic area where a huge amount of from the stoppage where ideal stop to running condition, huge current, starting current is required. So that maybe damage the particular battery. So that is the reason why initially I advise. So as far as the electrical vehicle is concerned, so when the battery is about to reach 30%, okay, or 25%, then we have to put the battery in charging. And likewise, whenever it is fully charged, also we should not overcharge the battery. That is the reason that how we can able to extend the life, or we can able to get the assured life of a battery. Okay, so normally the battery will be having a life period of 5 to 7 years. Okay, nowadays it's the batteries are coming, and there are also a different kind of batteries are coming. Now we can even last for 15 years if we are properly maintained. So that we are going to see what are the valve regulated such a batteries and all we are going to see. So this is what it can be. So that is what 50%, up to 50% can be discharged without any damages. Below 50% means that we have to be very much careful. So that is the reason why lead acid batteries are limited, because of their energy densities are very, very low. So because of the energy density is very, very low, during the depth of discharge, that is when the high current is required to be pumped from the battery is needed, it is not able to provide that. That is the reason why nowadays all the electrical vehicle and hybrid electrical vehicle for configuration, we are using the energy storage system as a battery, which is a lithium battery, lithium-based batteries. So comparatively, it is more than 10 times. Okay, more than 10 times of the lead acid battery energy density. But little bit cost. Okay, little bit costlier than that one. And there are technology. Sometimes it's called flooded and free vented. Okay, gelled electrolytes. Okay, absorbed glass made. These are all the things. Different kind of batteries automatically. So these are all created exclusively to give. Okay, exclusively to give. So percentage, as I already told, no. So in case of lead acid, what is the percentage of sulfuric acid is 35%, 65% will be water only. So during the discharging, more water will be there, lead will be deposited in the electrolyte. So when we are charging, the same lead that is deposited on the electrode will be dissolved in the water, and once again, reversible chemical process is happening. Okay. So in order to facilitate the same without the loss, so when we are charging and discharging, when we are charging exactly at 35% of sulfuric acid, that is diluted sulfuric acid level should be maintained. When we are discharging also, the level of sulfuric acid, maybe for example 5%, remaining 90% is completely water only, means when we are completely discharged, the same level has to be maintained. So in order to facilitate that, there is one method called, a technology called AGM, absorbed glass mat. Okay, it's also called valve regulated lead acid. So such a kind of battery, if you see that, you need not to fill the electrolytes. So whereas lead acid battery and all, what we have to do, we have to go for a, we have to fill the electrolytes. electrolyte level is keep on falling. Okay, so we usually call it as a battery water. Okay, battery water. So that we are to using that. That is nothing but a diluted. Okay, or otherwise diluted sulfuric acid you have to pour. So in order to have the maintain the level of electrolytes. But whereas in absorbed glass made, such a thing is avoided. So that is a reason why it's called valve regulated. Automatically, whatever the evaporation and all happening, it is absorbing and once again retaining it the particular electrolyte level. By retaining it the electrolyte level, automatically it retains the percentage of the sulfuric acid presence in the water also. So that is the reason why the absorbed glassmate batteries are nowadays very popular. And another one is gel electrolyte. In case of gel electrolyte also, it's also called valve regulated lead acid. VRLA. VRLA. And absorbed glassmate is using a liquid electrolyte. So AGM gel. The two technologies that we should know. These are all the batteries. So it can, when you are using this, we can able to avoid frequent filling of electrolytes. Okay, so this is how flooded vented. Okay, so what is happening inside that when the battery, when the battery is charged. Okay, so this is a gel. Okay, gel type of that. Automatically, this will be not unlike a liquid electrolyte. It is a gelled one. Okay, so this will facilitate a proper when the discharging. It will be properly the sulfur. Okay, so will be deposited. Sorry, lead will be deposited on the uh, electrode, and also whenever we charging also, that will be dissolved in the electrode. So by that, there is no any decrease in the electrolyte level or quantity of electrolyte that's available. This is in the AGM also the same mechanism. And as I already told, so if you see the state of charge of battery. So if you see, if a state of charge of battery is showing 100 percentage, so at 20 degrees Celsius, so automatically, if I am assuming that voltage, okay, so or the specific gravity is 1.265 in a completely discharged battery, if you see the specific gravity, it will give 1.120. So what is a difference if you see that only maybe 0.145, 0.145 only is the specific gravity is there. Difference is there. So we cannot measure any battery with a specific gravity. We have to measure the particular one with the state of charge only. That's the reason why this table is given. So in an open circuit voltage, if a battery is completely charged, it will shows the specific gravity as 1.265. A completely discharged battery, it will not show zero. It will show only 1.120. Okay. So likewise, flooded voltage also, if you see that a completely charged battery will show 12.7 voltage or 12.6 voltage. This means completely discharged battery will not show zero voltages. It will show 11.8 voltages. If you see the difference, what is the difference is 11.8 to 12.6. It is zero point 0.8 only. Okay, zero point 0.8 voltages only will be different. So we have to apply a proper measuring unit, okay, by which a precise, very accurate voltage level of battery is needed. Because what is the state of charge is analogous to the capacity of fuel tanks. How much fuel is there? So we are able to see a fuel indicator in normal combustion, internal combustion engine vehicle, no? So it shows fuel level. Full tank is full. Likewise, state of charge also it is showing analogous. So how much is the battery is full? But if you see that fuel tank, it is a wide variation in the analog signal. But whereas if you see the state of charge of battery, fully charged battery 1.6 voltage, completely discharged battery is showing 11.8 voltage. The difference is zero point 0.8, sorry, zero point 0.8 voltage or something. So unless otherwise you properly, very precisely measured this voltage, a small, even a small percentage error will lead to a perception or misconception that the battery is not full. We can able to travel or we can able to utilize a particular battery for more kilometers. So very precise That is the reason why battery management system in any electrical vehicle, hybrid electrical is very much important. So as far as the when we are using the electrolyte with the gel technology, so the state of charge of battery of lead acid can be slightly increased. Okay, it may be 12.85 to 95 it may go, but as far as the discharge level, it is same, 11.8 voltages only. But when we are using a AGM technology, so we can able to get same voltages only, but 12 point up to 12.9 discharge rate 11.1. If you see the difference, if you see the difference, I can able to mention that if you see the at the 75 percentage of charge, at the 75 percentage of charge, so if you see the flooded voltage, it is 12.4, whereas gel 12.65, AGM is giving 12.6. Even at the 25 percentage, okay, so gel will be giving 12 voltage, but whereas AGM is also 12. Okay, so as far as this concern, gel and AGM, a similar thing only at 75 percentage, 75 percentage to 50 percentage. You see this region, okay, if you see this region, so only 75 percentage and 50 percentage charge is having a different voltages in case of AGM technology or in case of a gel technology. Okay, so this is the important thing. That is the reason why earlier we also used flooded voltage. That is a normal electrolyte, complete electrolyte. Whenever it is, we will refill with a diluted sulfuric acid. So such a kind of battery only we used. Now we all switched over in the same lead acid battery. We all switched over to gel or AGM technology batteries. Gel or AGM technology battery. If you see that gel technology, so only differences is compared to the 50 and 75 percentage, gel and AGM more or less similar only, more or less. But if you see the flooded voltage, flooded technology battery, they are showing very low voltages, very huge drop, 12.6 it comes. But whenever if you see the gel and AGM one, it will only go 12.85 to 12.65. Then also once again, whenever the discharge is happening, a slight differences only in voltage is happening. But whereas in the completely discharged state only, it is similar. All the batteries are showing similar voltages. So it is preferred to use either gel voltage as far as lead acid is concerned, gel AGM one. Okay. And of course the charging. Okay, so the charging is a bulk charging, acceptance charging, float charging, equalization charging is also is there. Whenever you want to charge the battery, uh, uh, or so very precisely means 14.4 to if a flooded voltage per type of battery means 14.4 14.8. Okay, so if a floating charging, if you want to give the always whenever simultaneously battery is discharging, so you want to make up the leakage of current. So sometimes leakage or sometimes a small amount of discharging only will be there. So at that time, if you want to keep the battery in so charging and as well as discharging means we have to maintain the voltage at 13.2. If you want to have equalization means we have to increase the voltage. So, but in the gel and AGM is we need not to do not equalize. So we need not to go for equalization. So either we have to go for bulk or acceptance or floating charge. These three are enough. So automatically the voltage also same for floating and all. It will be almost same only. So irrespective of the type of battery, first three method bulk and acceptance and floating. Okay, very much suitable. Equalization method only is applicable to the flooded type of voltage batteries. So these are all the basic charging methods. Okay, so one is a constant voltage. So say for example, lead acid battery, nickel cadmium battery. These are all the battery. They are all called. They need a constant voltages. So they are also called cheap battery charges. Chargers. So always giving a constant voltage will not be a problem. So there is always there is a possibility of providing the same. But whenever we are going for a constant current, okay, so that has to be switched off at a voltage at the points. So that lead a constant current. And another one is a taper current. So when we are using unregulated constant voltage, so there is a need of going for a taper current charging method. So when we are in a case of charger, if you are using a pulse width modulation techniques, okay, that means on reset on concept. So that will be called as a pulsed method. And for short discharge pulses, there is a negative pulse charging methods also is there. And another one is the IUI charging, that is constant current, constant voltage with the equalized voltage. So case of other type of battery. So that means we electrolytes, no, so liquid electrolytes, so such a kind of thing. IUI charging, IUO charging means so floating charging. So to maintain a voltage of a battery. So that is in case of 13 points. Suppose 12.6 means 13.2 to 13.6 volt per meter. The floating method for to go for UO charging. So that is means constant voltage. So comparatively very little bit higher voltage is only for IUO charging. And another one charging method is called trickle charge. So it is mainly for compensating the self discharge. As far as I already told, so nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydride batteries, they are all self discharge. The self discharge of such a batteries will be more. So in case of that, trickle charging batteries is very much required. Floating charging also is possible. Okay, so constant voltages below the gassing voltages. Random charging. So whenever we are using sufficient voltage is available for charging, at that time only it will be charging. Such a kind of charging methods are called random charging. So uh, you should be able to remember all these charging methods because in future, so majority of the electrical vehicle and hybrid electrical vehicle, plug-in hybrid electrical vehicle, architects are going these type of chargings only. So mainly random charging, trickle charging, IUO charging is going to be dominating. So these are expected to dominating because mainly we are going to convert all the renewable energy sources. We are going to use the renewable energy sources, especially solar and wind also for charging when the vehicle is running. So you should know uh, about all these charging methods. Okay. So mainly this, as I already told, IEO charging. So it is having a three stages. Okay, bulk stages, accepted stages, and floating stages. Okay, so you know the value of voltages. So bulk stages we have to provide at charging at maximum voltage and maximum current. Usually, bulk stage of charging of battery is preferred when the battery is completely in a discharge state. So there is a need of maximum voltage to be provided and maximum current. So when we are going for absorption, okay, so when you for the absorption of the particular one, there is a need of a controlled voltage. Okay, that's providing a controlled voltages and as well as we have to provide a maximum current. So what is the difference between the bulk and absorption is of charging will be provided when we are when we are going to give uh, charging a battery at completely discharged level, completely discharged battery. Okay. As you already know, the voltage difference of completely discharged battery with a completely charged battery may be zero point 0.8 voltage. In case of lead acid battery, maybe if you take the 12.8 or 12.6 voltage is the state of charge at 100%. You see the completely discharged battery, it will be showing 11.8. So zero point 0.8 voltage only is going to be different. So if you identify the 11.8 voltages, so there won't be any furthermore discharging is possible. So we have to provide bulk stage charging. That is maximum voltage we have to provide. Maximum voltage we have to provide 15 voltages and maximum. But whereas in absorption, there is discharge. At that time, if you want to charge the battery, we have to go for absorption charging. There, it's the voltage is not need not to be maximum, but current need to be maximum. Charging current has to be maximum. So that is what controlled voltage level. And of course, for floating, when they're charging the floating, controlled voltage, controlled voltage, controlled current. So how much voltage decreasing because of the discharging? How much the depth of discharge? Current density, okay, discharging current is more, that has to be compensated. Floating charging is mainly compensating the particular charge. Okay, so there are other charging voltages. Okay, for a flooded technology battery, gel technology battery, and AGM technology battery that you have already seen. Okay, so sulfation of battery. So sulfation of battery means, as I already told, so whenever we feel that the charging is not standing for a long time, so there is a need of sulfation. Sulfation of battery starts when the specific gravity of the battery falls below 1.225, or the required voltage what we are measuring at state of charge is less than the rated one, that is 12.4 volt. If a 12 volt battery means 12.4 should be measured at the 100 percentage of state of charge. So if both the values falls below the reference value, there is a need of sulfation. That sulfation is nothing but it hardens the battery plates and reducing the, eventually destroying the ability of battery to generate volts and amps. So automatically the battery develops a high electrical resistance. Okay, so that is the reason why we have to go for sulfation of battery. So especially what not to do. So especially this is we should know. Okay, practically also, especially when we are going for a maintenance of batteries, we should know what not to do with the batteries. So incorrect charge voltage. So as already told, a slightly over or higher voltage is required. We should not give more higher voltage. Automatically, what will happen is more current will be going. So if automatically the rate at which the charging current it's acceptable. Okay, for the electrolyte that we are using, electrode we are using, that only will. Otherwise, it will try to alter the property of the material that we are using. So incorrect charge voltage is not acceptable. And another one is too low voltage means that the battery does not charge to 100 percentage. The sulfate then hardens on the plates and the battery loses some of its capacity. So that's where a sulfation is required. So excessive voltage automatically what will happen is that cause the battery to generate excess gas leading to water and drying out. Automatically what will happen? The water electrolyte level will be keep on decreasing. Okay, so too low voltages means this will happen. And excessive discharging, it is also uh, excessive depth of discharging also we can say that. So whenever that happens, that will be affect the battery. And discharging a battery further than its capacity automatically, even we know that even a completely discharged battery showing 11.8 voltages mean if you are trying to discharge the battery further, automatically that will very greatly shortens the lifespan. So automatically it will shorten the lifespan. So maybe a very small discharging current only can it will provide. So after that, if completely it will shorten the life. If you are charging that in 1 second, it will be getting charged. But if you are 1 second, if you are used that, if it comes earlier 4 hours means now it will come 1 hour or 2 hours only. This is what happening when we are doing with the charging of battery of any what we call laptop batteries and all. We can it's a very best example. And too many cycles. So that means if before completely discharge, when the state of charge voltage is 11.8 voltage, before that, if you have too many cycles, if you are charging and high charging voltages. So, if, for example, if a 12.6 voltages means 13.2 is for floating, 15 voltage for bulk. Okay, so for complete status. So, this is the maximum voltage at which we have to only charge. If you go beyond that, automatically it will called as high charging voltage. Because of that, excessive discharging and significant voltage ripple also will be appear. Okay, so in case of a very cheap charge is producing, so that lead to the shortens of lifespan of any battery. Okay, and another one is charging without a three-step regulation. As I already told, bulk and absorption and float, three-step regulation. Okay, and very high electrolyte temperature. So this is called smart charging method. So I'm having a charger now. Whatever maybe the charger we are having, that you call comes under the cheaper chargers because it is always giving a constant voltage, constant current only. But when we are going for a smart charging method, if a battery is completely discharged at that time, it has to provide bulk charging, high voltages, maximum current. So then next, whenever if a battery voltage is 75 percentages, at that minimum and maximum current. The battery has to be about to fill fully charged. Then there is a need of floating charging method. Minimum voltage is minimum charging current. So these three combinations should be available in a single charger based on the state of charge of the battery. So the charging method of these three, bulk and absorption and as well as floating, has to be automatically changed. If we are not employing this concept, especially when we are going for electrical vehicle and hybrid electrical vehicle, very high electrolyte temperature. If electrolyte temperature is very high, automatically it will produce as a excessive gas that lead to a water loss. Okay, so that means electrolyte level will be fall down and decreasing. So very frequently we have to fill that. Because of that, the dilution, the percentage of dilution of the sulfuric acid will be maybe more or maybe lesser. It will not be maintained the dilution at 35%. So that's the reason why we have to go further. And these are all the battery terminology. Okay, the VR lab, that means flooded valve regulated lead acid batteries. GEL means gelled electrolyte lead acid battery. AGM means advanced glass metal batteries. Okay, and CCA is a cold cranking amperes. So automatically, when we want to have using in a internal combustion engines, okay, so that has to be, so cold cranking ampere means that that battery is capable of producing at least particular voltage, 7.8 voltage. If it will give a very high voltages for 30 seconds in order to warm. Okay, that type of thing is, that terminology is called cold cranking arm and cranking arm, especially at 0 degrees. So these are and all terminologies that is used when we are using. This is for a conventional electrical vehicle, as well as it is applicable for the electrical vehicle and hybrid electrical vehicle. So when we are having it 0 degrees Celsius, so for about 30 seconds, it should be capable of giving a 7.2 voltage. Okay. And another one is the reserve capacity. Okay, so reserve capacity. So ampere hours, already we know ampere hour means 100 ampere hour means, so we can able to use the particular rating for 20 hours at 5 ampere load. Okay, so and Picot exponent. This is a charging factor. So any battery, the flooded cell battery is about 80%. It must be recharged with 1.2 times capacity of the reach. So that is the reason why we are all using for a 12.8 voltage battery, the minimum 15 voltage we are all using. Okay, so and battery capacity is nothing but discharge current and time in hours. Time in hours. So these are all the graphs. Okay, so already we have explained in the graph, when we are going ampere draw is increasing automatically, it will capacity of the battery will be decreasing drastically. Okay, is there any clarification? If there is any clarification, you can ask. Is there any clarification? If you have any clarification, please ask. Otherwise, we'll go further. Next. Are you able to understand? Or any terminologies that I mentioned? Because if you are all non-electrical students, non-electrical students, of course, maybe mechanical engineering, naval architecture, you may be studying, you may study the batteries in any of your subject. Okay, but as far as the food processing technology, and I don't know, mining students, whether they are able to follow. Okay, now another one, as I already told, energy storage system, there is three different kind of energy storage system we are using. So one is using a battery, and another one is using a fuel cell, and another one possibility is using a supercapacitors. Okay, supercapacitors and ultra capacitors. As far as the supercapacitor and ultra capacitor is concerned, they are able to give very high energy intensity, but very short duration only. So this can be act as a supplement to the existing battery level. So whenever a complete percentage only is there, 60% already discharged. In that 40% level, there is a need of huge depth of discharging. So there is a need of high discharging current means we can able to engage this type of supercapacitor or ultra capacitor also, but it cannot be very sustainably provided for very long time. That is a very big disadvantage, but it can store very high amount of energy density, okay, but very short duration to provide the particular power supply. So in that view, there is a three different categories there. One is a supercapacitor, and another one is electric double layer capacitor, ultra capacitors. These three are there. So we are going to see what is a supercapacitor, how does it differ from a capacitor, what type of applications it's suitable for, and typical materials that are used in that. So supercapacitors means I have already told it is having a very high capacitance. In addition to the high energy density is there, but lower voltage. Okay, high cycle life. I can able to use very long on and off. Okay, charging and discharging of that. It is having a very high cycle life. So charge and discharge must be faster than batteries. So the reason why we are using them as a boost, a supplement to the batteries means it can able to charge and discharge much faster than the battery. So that is the reason why the supercapacitors are all used. And also it bridges the gap between capacitors and rechargeable batteries. So the supercapacitor usually plays in between capacitor and rechargeable batteries. So it very quickly it can charge and very much faster than it is discharged also with a high energy density. That is a supercapacitor and mainly used for regenerative braking. So when we see that regenerative braking, huge amount of energy we can able to see. So around 0.16 unit we can able to save that means. So in order to save that energy, first battery cannot be immediately stored. Automatically it will transfer to supercapacitor. Then through capacitor it will reach. It is placed between capacitor and battery. Okay. So through a step-by-step process, we can able to so automatically from the supercapacitor, so we can able to transfer the power to the batteries. So automatically it's having a start-stop of electrical vehicle. During the start-stop of electrical vehicle also, we need very high energy. Say for example, at start. So in order to overcome the moment of inertia, we need to discharge the battery very high. Instead of discharging the battery very high, whatever capacitor we can able to take it, so which will give very high energy density. Okay. And supercapacity is an electrical energy that uses ions. Battery is a chemical energy uses ions. Capacitor is electrical energy uses electrons. So you should know the differences. What is supercapacitor and capacitor? Both are using electrical energy, but supercapacitor uses ions. Capacitors uses only electrons. Battery is a chemical energy. It uses ions only. Automatically that will give you a capacitor, okay, with the dielectric material. So automatically when supercapacitor, as far as supercapacitor is there, a separator material. So whereas the dielectric material is we are having a very huge distances in case of capacitor. Supercapacitor, a separator material will be very thin only. Okay, very thin only. But if you see the electrode material and current collector of the particular one, it will be very high as shown in the figure. Okay. So with this, I'm stopping. Okay, 9:55. Is there any clarification? You can ask. Hello? Is there any clarification? Okay. Okay, answer it means all of you unmute. Yes. Yes. Somebody asked something. All of you unmute and answer attendance. So now itself I'll close. Don't say that if any problem in not able to say means you just message or immediately inform. Okay, so don't post the messages after attendance taken. Sir, I was present, I am present, but not able to say like that. So Megroof, Megroof, Vasant Kumar. Vasant Kumar. Amala Besto.
Present, sir.
Tamil Selvan. Tamil Selvan. Jagannathan. Kevin Raj. Balachandar. Balachandar. Prem. Prem. Steve Thompson. Steve Thompson. Venu Aravind. Venu Aravind. Hello? Venu Aravind. Vignesh. Always. P. Vijay. P. Vijay. Yashwant. Yashwant. What happened to all? I am going to mark up. We are not opening mouth. Vikram Selva Ganesh. Vikram Selva Ganesh. Abhishek Ramesh.
Present, sir.
Anas
Present,
Mohammed.
sir.
Present, sir.
Tejas. Tejas. Tejas Krishna.
Present, sir.
Tejas.
Present, sir.
Tejas present. Vijit Vijay.
Present, sir.
Vijit Vijay. Gogul.
Present, sir. Present.
Gogul. Present, Gogul. Dorivaldo. Dorivaldo. Okay, Alex. Alex, mechanical. Alex. Gautam.
Present, sir.
Joy Joseph Reed.
Yes, sir.
Sir, Gautam message பண்ணு.
Okay, present. Okay. Kevin Smith.
Message box.
Okay, I'll see that. Kevin Smith.
Present, sir. Present,
Lokesh
sir.
Babu.
Present, sir.
Pradap. Pradap. KM Pradap. Mechanical. Pratyush.
Vasant Kumar, present, sir.
Present, sir.
வசந்த் குமார் எங்க போன வசந்த் குமார் இவ்வளவு நேரம் ஃபுட் ப்ராசஸிங்க ஃபுட் ப்ராசஸிங் தானே பிரத்யூஷ்
Present, sir.
விஷால் விஷால்
Present, sir.
Sir, mic on ஆகல, sir.
யாருக்கு யாருக்குப்பா ஹலோ யார் மெசேஜ் பண்ணிருக்கிறா கௌதம் பிரசன் போட்டாச்சு ஓகே கௌதம் மட்டும்தான் இல்லையா ஓகே ஆப்சென்டிஸ் ஆர் தமிழ்ச்செல்வன் ஜெகநாதன் கெவின் ராஜ் பாலச்சந்தர் பிரேம் ஸ்டீவ் தாம்சன் வேணு அரவிந்த் விக்னேஷ் விஜய் யஷ்வந்த் விக்ரம் செல்வ கணேஷ் அண்ட் கோகுல் அலெக்ஸ் பிரதாப் ஓகே 14 only. Okay, correct. Okay.